Only 8 years old when her father, Tim, took his own life. But she is certain that his death was not a suicide. She believes her own mother, Connie, murdered him. Connie says her entire family has called her a killer for 17 years, and she's here to put an end to this rumor. Take a look.
I'm being accused of murder. My husband committed suicide in November of 2001. For 17 years, I have been told that I am the one that pulled the trigger. I'm here today to prove that I did not have anything to do with his death. I found my husband in our bed, and to the right was a gun still in his hand. And he had taken all the pillows off of our bed and propped himself up. And he had shot himself. My entire family accuses me. They think because he was such a good person and treated me so good, he wouldn't have done that. That he loved the children enough to not take his own life. I think there's a combination of reasons why. I did have an affair. We were honest with each other, and I did mention the affair. And I begged him to please work on our marriage so that I could save it. My daughter Brooke, my oldest daughter, my husband adopted her when she was 2 years old. He was the best father that you could ever ask for. My daughter Brooke believes that I killed Tim because she was 8 years old when he passed. She blamed me and said, he's not coming back because of you.
Brooke, you believe that your mother played a role in your father's death.
Yes.
And why do you think that?
For one, when he passed, she got a $100,000 settlement. We didn't see any of it. She spent it on the guy she was cheating on him with.
What happened the day your father died?
I just know certain family members went over there to have an intervention and tell her, you have a nice home, you have a Mustang, drop top, you have clothes, money, everything you want to ask for. She didn't work or anything. You need to get your life together before you and your kids lose everything. It's not just going to affect you, it's going to affect those kids too.
And what was the intervention over?
Because she was cheating, she wasn't coming home at night, and my dad was fed up. He was tired. He was ready to leave. We went to my grandma, my aunt's house, and on the way home, before we left out to go home, I know my grandma told me to call him and let him know we were on our way. So I go to the phone and I call my dad, and I'm like, Daddy, we're on our way home. He's like, well, you got school in the morning. So as soon as you get here, I'm about to cook spaghetti now. It'll be done by the time you get here. Then you got to go to bed. It took us maybe 10 or 15 minutes to get there. When I got there was no spaghetti on the table. All the lights were out, the back door was open, and his bedroom door was locked. And as we're pulling up, my mom pulls in front of my grandma, my aunt, like literally almost made us crash. And she tries to rush in the house before us, comes back out as we're walking in, and just tries to use any excuse not to get us to go in the house. It could have been any small, okay, the things you guys were talking about earlier, I understand now, I've thought about it, or let's go outside and talk. Just any little thing she could do to keep us from going in the house. Anything.
Well, maybe she knew that your dad killed himself and she didn't want you to see that.
She's still the reason. Why'd you leave him there laying dead? And then another thing, he would have never...
What if your dad would have killed himself over the reason that she was having an affair?
That's still murder to me.
I don't know if I'd consider that murder. It would certainly be a cause of him doing it.
Well, okay, that's a better way.
But a lot of people have affairs, and people don't kill themselves because of it. Do you think that she took the gun and actually shot him?
Not necessarily, no. But I do know she wanted that money, and I do know that it's just weird how she spent it on on somebody that she was risking her marriage for.
So you think the death of your dad was over this insurance policy?
Yeah, most definitely.
Brooke, I have always loved you. I loved you enough to put you in a place where you would be safe, and that was with, let me finish, please. That was with my mom and dad, your grandparents.
Okay. Can I say something? You didn't put me in a place. You lost me. You got wasted.
I was
got
already
drunk
drinking.
and put your hands on me, right?
I love you, Brooke.
Actions speak louder than words.
I have been there for you. I heard what you said, and you didn't.
When were you there for me?
Brooke, We both have done bad things.
She's here because she wants to know, did you kill her father?
Right. And
Did you?
No.
How did your husband, how did he die?
A gunshot wound to the head.
And you believe he did this to himself, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you say you didn't kill him.
No.
Did you have anybody else kill him?
No.
No. And when he did kill himself, you still were married with him?
Mm-hmm.
Was there an intervention the day that he allegedly killed himself? Did your family come over and try to convince you to stop cheating on him?
Well, at the time, they didn't know I had been cheating.
Was there an
My
intervention?
mom and-
Was there an intervention the day
I
that he
wouldn't
killed
call it an
himself?
intervention.
What would you call it?
I would call it that they bombarded, they came in, and my husband said, leave my wife alone. I
But
don't
they
feel
were
good."
trying to convince you to stop cheating.
They were telling me that he was so good to me and that I was going to mess it up, and if I
Because
did...
you were cheating.
Well, yeah,
Yes or
but
no?
I mean, I was cheating, yes, but at that moment, I didn't admit I was cheating until after he died.
You have a sister, Tracy? You don't like her either, huh? Let's bring her out.
How dare you accuse
You're
me
a
of
murderer. You
no,
killed
I'm
Tim
not.
and you
Don't
ruined these
you
kids'
ever
lives.
mess with my children's minds.
Tim had informed us a week prior that she was having an affair, so we did know that. He had gotten a lawyer. He had filed for divorce. He had already talked about getting custody of the girls because he adopted Brooke.
So why didn't you save him? Why didn't you see
why
the
do
signs?
I need to save him? I didn't know he was going to be murdered.
Did you shoot Tim? You answer no. Did you participate in any way in Tim's death? You answered no. Do you know for sure if anyone else that participated in Tim's death? You answered no. The results came back all the same, and they came back that Connie told the truth. People, when they are faced with making a decision of ending their own lives, I can't imagine the depths of despair they're at that moment to commit an act like killing yourself. But I can imagine that when you find out your wife is having an affair, doing drugs, doing alcohol, that might push somebody to that point.
And if you think you're gonna walk into my kid's life, walk in and out like you walked in and out of our life, it's over. You will never see them again.
You're a murderer. I know it.
And you're not a mother. I'm done. I don't got nothing to
Okay,
say.
so the test means nothing.
No, it means nothing.
I don't want you in my life then
They didn't
because
even
you're
get to hear
toxic.
everything I have to
and
say.
it's my time. It's my turn to get better.
Like I said, it's sad. I would hate to be in your position where
That
nobody
is
in
a
my family
very
wants anything to do
heavy
with me.
accusation.
Yeah, but you know what?
Victim.
You accusate, people are always going to say stuff about you. Believe me, I've lived in those shoes for the past 25 years. And you know what? I don't give a damn what anybody says about me. I care about who I know who I am. Okay? So you can rest on that. Oh, they said I was killed somebody, but you didn't kill anybody. You didn't go to jail. You were never put on trial for it. So if you want to use that as an excuse of why your whole life is imploded, enjoy living with your crappy life, and you can
No.
get off my stage.